to tonight. It's the 15th, I do believe, Tuesday. And yeah, I hope that's the right date. Anyway, it's Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I'll be working on the canvas acrylic slash, I know these are acrylic base, but Createx illustration colors and Grumbacher, the tube brush paint where you use your brushes like that for getting in and working without overspray and stuff. So you're kind of basing in a shape. You can tape off certain areas. You can experiment with straight edge like that. I spray against that, this red, kind of a brownish burgundy red of the lighthouse. And yeah, so there's no frisket involved. There's no, stencils like that. It's just like if you're painting an oil painting or an acrylic painting and you're strictly all brushes, you could paint the whole thing with acrylics and then go from there and enhance it with the airbrush. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to probably have a base color, which would be custom mixed. I mean, I still have to get that color right, but it will be with the brush. So then I will be going in there and putting in the, the base, the lightest color. And then I can come back in and airbrush it. And if you don't have an airbrush, you can come in and control. It's a quick drying time, but not, there's ways to control it with a little mist or whatever like a plant sprayer, a mister, whatever you want to call them. And so there's ways to have fun painting this painting, whether you're using an airbrush or not. I will be enhancing it with the Micron side bottle, side cup, and using that to bring about anything that I want to shade or bring a more realistic things too, such as like the grass. I mean, using a brush for the grass and enhancing it with maybe the shadowing of the airbrush and stuff like that. Coming in here and base painting the fence where you don't have to worry about a stencil. You're just going to cut it in just like you would on a normal acrylic painting. And then from there, you got to just pay attention to your colors, your values. Some of the greens in this photograph are a little bit loud, saturated, so I can play around with that. This is just the layout from last week. I have a picture of some clouds that I will be looking at to bring in some shading on the clouds so they're not just little white cartoon clouds. All right, so that's some of my plan to bring this painting, further along. And hopefully, it will help some people that want to airbrush maybe, but they don't have any airbrush money to buy the equipment, or the compressor usually is the big burden, right? But the thing is, it will show you both, and it will be a live video that will be saved in the live section. So it's, imagine airbrush with Bill Sneggin, and then you could go on and go to the live section, and you'll see the live feed at 7. So I hope you guys can join me, and, the detailing and stuff. You got, brushes like Winsor Newton, the fine brushes. Once you put liquid on that, it gets to be a nice point. And that's when you can get into just little things that normally would have to be cut out and, all stencils and stuff. You can paint them with the fine brushes. So it's just a relaxing way to use two different mediums and bring about a painting that could just use one or the other, right? But in this case, it's a 2-for-1 thing. And hopefully when somebody that just has acrylics that's copying this or whatever, by the way, this is from Unsplash. The image is free to use, and you can, paint this same painting if you want. And yeah, so we basically have two styles, and you could do it completely acrylics, and there's ways to blend these acrylics that will look like they were airbrushed, if you choose to go just like that. All right, so enough said. 7 p.m. tonight, and it might be the 14th. I said the 15th. It's Tuesday. Yesterday was the 13th. Yeah, I think that's correct. Um, anyway, I hope to see you tonight. That will be good. And take care and look for this. Get your paintbrushes out, get your canvases out, or at least take your notes. And remember, you can save the video to your own page. Okay? So it's 2 for 1 thing. I'm going to do it with the watercoloring later, where you take watercolor paper, and you can use the airbrush with the watercolor. Matter of fact, the watercolor on my uploads of these videos, watercolor airbrush, slash airbrush, has gotten the highest numbers of interest in people, looking at them, thousands, I think, compared to, say, some of the other just airbrush. As soon as I mentioned watercolor and I put that video up, it's almost like I should do a watercolor page, because it's very popular and there's a lot of people that use it as opposed to, say, the airbrush. But it was both included. So good night on that one. I'm saying good night because it's like 12:30 and midnight, but it's Tuesday. So I'll see you later, later on at 7. Take care. Good night.